Well, it's fair to say, been a busy first month in office for President Trump. He says it, most of us covering it, we say it. Let's go through some of the numbers, not all, some of them. 73 executive orders in total, which is almost as many as the number of lawsuits that have been filed against his administration. That number currently, as I speak, stands at 81. Our reporter panel joins us now to discuss this and other topics. Sophia Cai, White House reporter for Politico. Tom LoBianco, founder and a national politics reporter for 24 Site News. Sophia, at the podium today, all sorts of adjectives from senior White House officials: most productive, most aggressive, most this, most that. It has been a busy time.
Yes. I mean, I think you can describe it as taking a wrecking ball to the federal government. Even people who expected them to start to do this weren't expecting them to do it with such speed and such a big measure. I mean, a lot of this comes down to the White House saying, pay attention to the president. Mm-hmm. They're telling that to the agencies. They're telling that to workers. And, you know, I think that's like the primary message and where most of, you know, the executive orders are falling under. So, you know, number one, immigration. Number two, shrinking the federal government. That's been two of their biggest themes this month.
And Tom, at the podium today, Stephen Miller said, when the president is elected, the president is the embodiment of the American democracy. When the president acts, everyone needs to heed the directions from the president, including specifically the bureaucracy. In that light, I want to play for you very new sound that comes from CPAC, where Elon Musk is still on stage. And this is him now, just a couple of moments ago, defending the initial efforts of the Department of Government Efficiency, which he more or less leads.
People ask me, what's the most surprising thing that you've encountered when you go to D.C., you know, when you're in D.C.? And I said, well, the most surprising thing is the scale of the expenditures and actually how easy it is to, when you add caring and competence where it was absent before, you can actually save billions of dollars, sometimes in an hour.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild.
There's a song lyric, a future so bright, gotta have shades. Also, I don't think that song goes in a video or anything else with a chainsaw on the carpet, but, you know, it's CPAC, lots of things are allowed. Tom, your reaction?
Equally performative. I just, you know.
High marks there.
I mean, the Constitution has three branches, co-equal and separate, and checks and balances. Now, regarding...
First delineated powers in the Constitution belong to Congress.
Yes. And, I mean, if the executive branch wants to deal with the bureaucracy, okay.
Right.
That's within their purview. If they want to attempt to negate the 14th Amendment, well, you go through the courts.
Birthright citizenship, exactly.
It's not unlike, so Stephen Miller making these comments, this WWE style of, you know, politicking, is not unlike Elon Musk showing up with the chainsaw with Javier Milei at CPAC. I mean, it's very, I should note here, you know, what Elon Musk said on stage is, might be broadly accurate, but what he's put out on his publishing platform, X.com, is wrong.
Right.
Demonstrably wrong.
Right. They haven't saved $55 billion yet.
No. So, I mean, and this is, look, I mean, we had 4 years of Biden. Now we're going to have 4 years of Trump, Musk, and Vance. This is the norm. All right. So, and that, you know, obviously it's up to us to, you know, cut through with our own proverbial chainsaws, cut through the performative art.
And Sophia, related to that, when Elon Musk says he's going to check with the president about sending out checks based on DOGE-related savings, it strikes me as whether those checks ever actually arrive or not, the very idea of it pressurizes the politics around this, because the Trump supporters say, hey, we might get something out of this. And if they don't, they're not going to blame the president. Trump supporters, they're not going to blame Elon Musk. They're going to blame Democratic attorneys generals in various states. They're going to blame maybe Democrats in Congress or judges, somebody else. And Trump will still win politically, even if the checks don't go out.
Right. And so, I mean,
it's designed that way.
I mean, remember, this, for the DOGE check to work,
Right.
It has to go through Congress.
Right.
Congress has to authorize this really as a spending.
Right.
You know, and I think I was just on the Hill today talking to some Republican
What
senators.
were they telling you?
Look, a lot of them have said when there are DOGE savings, all of it should go toward paying down our national debt. And that is their first priority. So, you know, Elon Musk and Trump might have their ideas for what the DOGE savings should do. They might be creative, but if you ask the people who are actually in charge of authorizing something like that, you know, they disagree.
And Tom, to your point a moment ago, that the savings are less than advertised, why is it that we can say that with such confidence?
Well, because, look, there's a history already of making statements and from the White House, and in this regard, Elon Musk is a member of staff on the White House.
Yep.
He is Russ Vought. It's years past, we would be talking about Mitch Daniels, budget director of the W. White House, you know, Jared Bernstein, you name it. This is staff and the White House misstating subscriptions, all right, referring to lobbyists as media.
Right.
Now, has been quite a blurring of the lines of that recently, but this White House in particular has a long history of stating things inaccurately. You know, what their intentions are, we can't live inside their heads, but they get a lot of things wrong on purpose repeatedly.
And Sophia, how important do you think it is that Mitch McConnell is ending his political career effectively right now in light of what has transformed beneath his political feet with the Trumpian Republican Party?
Yeah, so, I mean, look, I think take what Trump has said about Mitch McConnell recently, I think in response to his no votes to some of Trump's nominees. I think Trump largely sees Mitch McConnell as irrelevant. You know, of course, this
as
is
a
someone,
defeated force within the Republican Party.
Yes, and you know, but this is someone who was reelected 6 times. He was elected 7 times, the longest-serving leader of the Senate. And that does mean something, but that also tells you where the party is.
And Tom, it's worth pointing out, if it's not for Mitch McConnell, Merrick Garland gets a hearing and possibly a confirmation vote and sits on the Supreme Court. He doesn't. That elevates the issue of the future of the Supreme Court in the 2016 race to Donald Trump's benefit. And then Merrick Garland becomes Attorney General in a Biden administration, and lots of things flow from that. I mean, Mitch McConnell is central to a great part of the early success of Donald Trump.
Yes, it's votes against nominees in the tail end of his long career and very powerful career don't change the fact that, I mean, he shaped the court. He shaped the court which in Trump v. U.S. expanded presidential powers. He shaped the court, you know, look, the second impeachment for the January 6th insurrection, he, you know, tamped down the indictment vote.
The conviction vote, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, he has been incredibly consequential, probably not in the ways that he and his staff will say as they're wrapping things up.
Yeah, Trump may regard him rhetorically now as irrelevant, but he was very relevant at very key points in Donald Trump's rise to the White House and while he was there. Tom LoBianco, Sophia Cai, thank you very much. Appreciate it.